All right, let's get to baseball here and let's talk about baseball. Our breakout players for baseball here. Let's even go back.
Put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
Today. So definitely we're ready to play with the breakout players for your all right. All right. So who is breaking out for the Orioles this year? Who is doing that? So not me. I'm not breaking out. But who is breaking out for the Orioles? So what does that even mean? Breakout players. So who's going to the next level? So for instance, we can't use like last year we talked about Garner Henderson breaking out. He's already a superstar, right? So you can't talk about Adley Rutschman, who's already an all-star. So who is already out? Who's going from here to here, right? Who's going to move up to the next level? And not just necessarily AAA, the majors, whatever, but who's going to go higher? Who's going to raise their game? Who maybe we're not expecting in 2025. All right, so let's take a look at the Orioles here as far as the breakout players. Ricky Branfield, definitely he's going to. I don't know which level he's even going to be at in 2025, where he's going to start. I would think he'd start in AAA after spring. They may want to immediately move him. There's a small chance he starts in Bowie, at least for a little bit. We'll see. Here's why he's here on the Orioles, is even though he's in the minors, and I think he'll probably stay in the minors. Definitely, Mike Elias has definitely made a point of picking him out as far as how happy he is with Enrique Branfield and his progress and everything he's done. So absolutely, that is a thing as well. So is it a chance? He's not doing that for no reason. So definitely they may have plans for him at some point. I think there is some chance we could see him at some point. Definitely if we have a Cedric Mullins injury prolonged or something like that. But definitely here's a guy who definitely may step up to the majors at some point. We don't know yet, but definitely that's definitely a name to watch. Chase McDermott pitched last year for the Orioles in AAA. We're going to see him in the majors this year. I definitely think, I don't know if he makes the rotation as a start, but if the Orioles don't trade him, I think definitely at some point this year we're going to see Chase McDermott at some point in 2020 in 2025. He should actually, I think, start in AAA. I don't think he makes the rotation. I do think he'll have more of a legit shot to actually get Trevor Rogers. Winter meetings are coming up next week. We will see what happens if the Orioles actually sign a Max Fried, resign Corbin Burns, whatever. That's going to mean a lot. But I do think there's a chance we could see McDermott having a bigger role this year. Here's a name you might not as know. Definitely a top 10 pitching prospect, Trace Bright. One of the best pitchers, I think, in the Oriole minor league system last year. Trace Bright, I think, kind of is one of the better pitchers, I think, in the system. Not a pitching-rich system that the Orioles have at this point, right? So it's when you're drafting players, the Orioles definitely have a philosophy of taking the best player available in the draft, similar to like the Ravens. Pitching inventory early is not a lot there. Sometimes you get like a Paul Skeens early or something like that, but a lot of times, you know, it's not a lot there. So you kind of grow them and develop them. Here's a guy that's been growing and developing. Definitely, I think you could definitely make the case he was the best pitcher in the minors for the Orioles last year. I think definitely more of an outside shot. I think what you'll more likely see where Trace Bright is you see him in the majors at some point next year as well. I think you'll see him like July-ish, something like that, to see him in a start, something like that. I don't think he stays in AAA all season. Kobe Mayo, this is one of the cornerstones of the franchise. I don't know where he's going to play. I think all things being equal, the Orioles, if they had their way, they play him at third base every day. If they definitely would see him on a consistent basis, I do think that was part of the reason why they moved Jackson Holiday to second, because I think they want Kobe Mayo to take over at third. I think definitely that's part of the plan. They want Kobe Mayo to play third long term. My problem with Mayo is he's not good at third. I mean, he really struggled to me. I hope right now he's in Arizona or somewhere taking grounders at third. He's got a ways to go at third. I think definitely you could put him at first. The power potential is off the charts though with Kobe Mayo. He's absolutely going to be in the majors sooner next year. I think you're definitely going to see more of a contribution. Definitely, if you had to pick a player that is going to be in the contention for a Major League Rookie of the Year, I definitely think that guy is Kobe Mayo, without question. And here's a guy I don't know what's going to happen. I've seen so many blogs and comments saying you can't trade this guy, Sam Sile. I think he's a top 10 prospect in all Major League Baseball. Definitely a top 10 prospect, one or two, depending on who you talk to, as far as in the Orioles system. Where do you play him? I don't know. Do you play him at first? Do you play him at third? Do you move him to the outfield? Do you leave him in AAA? I think he's ready to play in the majors right now. I definitely think if a spot was open, he definitely has a shot to contend for it. But I don't think they would want him backing up Adley Rushman for a whole year. I think the Orioles are looking at catchers as well. Very interesting to see. I can't imagine he stays in the minors a year either. I don't see how you take a guy with this type of talent and just have him hit 300 in the minors all season long and do that. So it'll be interesting to see, is he trade bait? Is he moved? Is whatever? But I definitely think he's a name you want to watch out for next year. Breaking out, Heston Kjerstad, contributor starter. I absolutely believe Heston Kjerstad is going to get the opening day nod in right field as well. I think they may look at outfielders. Maybe. I think Jerkerson Profar from the Padres last year, I think that's definitely the type of signing that they would make for next year. A guy like who is a contributor, who is somebody who is what? 10 more minutes. 5 more. All right, so I'm almost done. All right, so definitely a guy who's a contributor, but he wouldn't necessarily be in the way of Kjerstad. You can maybe play him in a 6 role or DH role, something like that. Again, here, Kjerstad defensively needs to improve. Definitely defensively, he's got to get some more work done. Definitely not as strong defensively as you would like. But Kjerstad, no question about it. Definitely he's a guy. I think he's going to be your starting right fielder, barring a miracle signing of uh, Hernandez or the Dodgers or something like that. I definitely think they're going to start Heston Kjerstad in right. Jackson Holiday just turned 21. Happy birthday, Jackson Holiday. He is going from rookie to starter this year. I think Jackson Holiday is going to start at second base. I don't think there's any question about it. He didn't do what we had hoped last year. I think there is truth to that. But he's still so young. He's about a year ahead of the curve. There's no reason to worry too much about Jackson Holiday. He definitely showed it in flashes as well. I think he's fine defensively. I don't think he's a problem defensively. He's got good speed. I think they view him also as your future leadoff hitter. I do think he is the starting second baseman too. I think again, you never know what's out there, what happens in the winter meetings. But I think Jackson Holiday, I think he's penciled in at second base this year as well. So I definitely think he is absolutely going to start. Colton Cowser from starter to all-star. So he came a whisker away, man, from winning the Rookie of the Year last year, Colton Cowser. Cowser, I think, because I've always liked Cowser. I think Cowser is a solid hitter, all-around hitter. His average, I think, will go up over time. I think this is the replacement for Santander in the 3 spot. Yeah, I think if they had to roll it out right now. So Santander, I think, starts in the 3 spot next year in left field. I think Santander, is going to actually has a shot at going to the All-Star game. Can he develop into that type of player to be consistent, 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, 300 average, carry offense around him, etc.? Is he going to be that type of player over time? So definitely that'll be interesting to see. And another guy who could develop into an all-star is Jordan Westburg. I think Westy's terrific. I think this might be one of the most underrated players in all of baseball. I think he's better at second, but he's solid at third. I don't think they. I don't I honestly think he surprised the organization with how well he's played. He is a solid hitter. Period. I don't think he needs any more time to develop into a hitter. I don't think there's anything else you need to do with him as far as a hitter. You just got to keep him on the field healthy. I think he's a solid. I think the only thing he missed a bunch of time last year. He had 18 home runs considering how many games he missed. So I think that this guy, I think, is fantastic. There's no reason why this guy shouldn't be playing every day as well. They may move somebody to the outfield. I would say outfield is. I think I've heard rumors Jackson Holiday moving to the outfield. Westy, because they may have a spot, they may have an opening in the outfield. So that might be a thing at some point where they move somebody to the outfield at some point as well. But I think Jordan Westberg, I think definitely we're gonna see if we're gonna get him to the All-Star game next